Next one. Have a look at this. Here's an interesting deal for you. Now, here's a project that was already zoned for residential. This is an intersection. I'll do my very best to draw one. Okay, there you go. Here's a building. Now, here's the site. It's zoned residential. It is across the road from a convention centre. Convention centre. Has an asking price of about 2.5 mil. And the owner is in a bit of financial strife. The owner's in a bit of trouble, actually. And the owner is wanting to build apartments on it. Now, here is the irony. This developer hadn't done a lot of research. He was already building an 8-storey tower right next to a supermarket called Coles. He was about 45-50% through his pre-sales and things came horribly undone. He has this site, about 2,063 square metres, 2,073 square metres. He has this site as a surplus asset. The bank tells him he either sells this particular property or the bank will on his behalf. He's going to have to start to liquidate and bring back his exposure. Make sense? To give the bank a level of comfort. Am I hearing you in the back corner, Kerry Stokes? Yes or no? Yes or no, Kerry Stokes? Awesome, fellas. All righty. Now, here was the interesting part. He was already struggling down the road to build and sell down some of his apartments. Now, what do you think he was going to put on here? A what? Apartments. Can you believe it? He's going to build more of the same stuff that he was already struggling with. It was across the road from a convention centre. Did you get that? It's insane. Absolutely insane. So we put the deal together at $2,630,000. I won't go into the topic. When you come to Conclave, I'll tell you all about it. It's hilarious what happened with the banker. He was a Singaporean-based fellow, an American guy that lent the money to these developers. I'm sitting in the developer's office with the Singaporean banker that happened to fly in that morning. Do you think there might be the basis to do a deal when the banker comes to the meeting? Yes or no? He's got some issues, hasn't he, right? I walk in, I introduce myself, I'm like, hey, I'm Mark. He says, yeah, my name's Gordon. Gordon, I think it was. My name's Gordon. I said, oh, pleased to meet you. What's your name? He goes, oh, my name's Sheris. I'm like, well, where are you from? He goes, I'm from Singapore. Oh, are you a developer, like part of this? He goes, no, I'm the banker. I went, oh, interesting. Good to meet you. My smile like doubled. I'm thinking, great. This sounds good, all right? So here we got it. I thought to myself, well, it's across the road from a convention centre. Instead of actually building apartments, what do you think that you and I would build there in place of it? A what? A hotel. Who said a hotel? Lindsay Fox, I should have known. Here's how it went, right? I looked at that, as you might guess, I thought, short-term ACON. It's got to be it. Sat with the council, I said, listen, what are the chances to turn this into a hotel? The lady looks at me and she goes, perfect. I said, great. Can I organise a meeting with some senior planners? She said, yeah, no problem at all. So I had a pre-lodgement meeting and I put forward my ideas. I said, listen, we are literally 2 streets away from the CBD of the city centre. I said, I'm actually thinking 1 floor of retail, 3 floors of what space? Of professional office space, 2 streets from the mall, and the balance being hotel. Senior planner looks at me and goes, well, we'd probably support that. I said, what's probably mean? Is that a yes or is that a no? Now, are you going to get very vague answers? Yes. Do you need precise answers? Yes. Particularly when you're about to throw $860,000 at a DA. Are you with me? Yes. That's cash. I can't borrow that. I don't own the property just yet, do I? It's under option. 860 large coming straight out of a bank account. You with me? I need precise answers. He said, well, probably. I said, that doesn't really help me. I appreciate your input. That's not going to be enough for me to be able to pull this thing together. I said, how could I get some more clarification on this? He said, well, you could book another meeting. I said, if I was to present you that kind of submission and thinking about the needs of the council, just remind me, what would the needs be? Yeah, I said to him, what would you think the needs of the council would be for this location? He said, well, you know what? We're going to get one opportunity to develop this project. It would be a landmark project. That's first and foremost. I reckon the needs of the council would be to provide accommodation. I said, so if the largest portion of that development is accommodation, I guess you'd be happy to approve that. He looks at me. He goes, yeah, maybe. I said, well, what else would the council need? I said, is retail good for jobs? You tell me, what's the council need? He goes, well, employment hubs are good. I said, would that suffice? I said, you have an employment hub there. It's got 3 floors of office space and 1 floor of commercial. What else do you need? He goes, well, we've got some problems with the parking around the city. I said, so if I was to have some parking downstairs that council was able to have access to for perhaps the convention centre, would that be more along the line of your needs? He said, well, yeah, that would be. I said, so it sounds to me then, what am I doing? Clarifying the other person's point of view. I said, so if it sounds to me then, if we could provide accommodation, a working hub, jobs and employment, as well as some benefits for parking in the convention centre, I guess we'd have ourselves an approval. Would that be right? He goes, yeah, it'd have my support. Super. I put in another pre-lodgement meeting. I had a meeting with the mayor, sat with him face to face. I said, this is what we need to do. Put it all out on the table. Sure enough, the deal went together. Now, with the DA, it was worth $5.4 million. Is it a good margin, yes or no? Yes. It was valued at a lot more than that. But let's just say it was worth about $5.4 million back then. Now, at that stage, the DA took about 54 weeks to get approved. That's $2.77 million. Is that true? Is that right, yes or no? Yes. Straight up, 2.63 to 5.4, $2.77 million. Good start? Yes. What if you and I went ahead and developed it? Well, there's 1,500 metres of retail on the ground floor. That comes in at $8.4 million. There's 4,500 square metres of office, again 3 floors. That's worth $19 million or $380 a square metre to lease. Had 166 hotel rooms. That, according to the valuer, were worth about $22,000 a key or $35 million alone, which brought the total cost of construction in at $40,700,000. Now, what do you think if you add all those together and subtract the build cost, what kind of profit was left? What kind of profit? Don't say shitloads. Very good. $21.7 million net. Is that a good deal? Is that a good deal? That is unbelievable. Have you actually contemplated what $21 million looks like? Have you actually contemplated the kind of impact that will have on yourself and your families? You've got that? Here's the deal. It was very, very hard for me to fund at this point in time. And we're in the final motions now of actually selling the site on. And it looks like it's going to be between 4.3 and 4.55 million. Do I still make a decent profit? Yes or no? I'll get my costs for sure, and I'll make a few bucks. But not every deal are you going to get across the line. And to build a project of that size, we're talking $40.7 million just worth of construction. That's a fairly big apple to chew. Wouldn't you agree? Yep. 21 million, 40.7. Okay, yep. I don't know. In my mind, I kind of think to myself, what about my time and my lifestyle? Do I need to sort of dedicate the next 2.5 years of constructing this thing, or if I just cash out now, get a few bucks in my pocket and keep on moving? Is that still smart? Yes. That deal would not have worked any other way than in the format of a combination. Are you with me? Yes. And our friend, the old developer, he was thinking of building more apartments. And now there's $21.7 million worth of potential profit. It was confirmed on Thursday afternoon, who's heard of the Siebel Citygate hotel chain? Okay, great. Hotel Siebel Citygate is now going to purchase the whole entire hotel with the development. Is that pretty smart? Yes or no? Yeah, really well done.